What's up, everybody? I'm Becca Sapphire, and welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch. Let's see.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Sorry I don't talk so much in these videos. It's more story-driven, so, you know.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Oh, that's cool.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Like, that was something you would buy at, like, IKEA. And speaking of which, if you're wondering why the bed is, like, blocking off the closet, I just got a bed from IKEA, and the only way it would fit in my room is if I blocked it off, and it's, like, super comfy, so I wanted to keep it. And I had to buy these, like, Tupperware things to keep all my clothes in. And they won't go all the way underneath my bed because of the fact that it has a little metal beam at the bottom, keeping it supportive. So yeah, that was a dick and a half.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
I'm not bad-mouthing IKEA or anything, it's just, like, you know, it's not good when the first product you buy there is so many fucking problems. Let's see, basil, sage, mint. I feel like kinda has something like this, except that except we grow tomatoes, those carrots and peppers, and I grow cactuses. Stereotypical cactuses, like every other hipster.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Hold the hell up. Hold up. Can I go back?
For a while,
Can I go back?
things were good. Almost normal.
Swear to God, I saw a shark back there. I'm homeschooled.
But it didn't last.
This is kind of nice, except it's not like this. It's more of I watch a YouTube channel saying something about history, and then I write a short report on it. And I do that like 3 times a day, even though I've been I've been lacking lately. And I have been lacking on YouTube too. I'm just tired all the time, man.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
You know, when you're on a transplant list, you're just tired all the time, you know?
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Man, I love this music. Oh my god, that's so cool. Can you imagine having a room like this? How many times have I said, can you imagine, in this series? I said it a lot, but damn, could you just picture having something like this? You know, with ivy growing on the sides and paint and just seeing the stars and the moon in the forest. Especially like at winter and summer.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Wait. Oh, that's cool. The faster you go, the faster the picture goes, and slower you go, slower it goes. That's cool. I like that effect. Yeah. Sorry guys, there was like a spider or something on my arm. Freaked me the hell out. So is that symbolizing him running away?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Damn.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
His room is very Tumblr-esque. I do have to say that. Like, that's something you would see on Tumblr, right? A room like that? You know, this perfectly non-existent rooms that obviously the favorite child of the family gets.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
By the way, that was me.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
My dad kind of treated me different than my siblings. Which is why I say that. Like, I had, like, you know, this, you know, like, little rooms that they show in magazines. It's like a little princess room and stuff. That's what my dad did to my room. And he did that because I was the only kid he seen kind of grow up. Like, the rest of them, he just kind of left. He didn't abandon them, he just couldn't take care of them. I don't know. That's why I think they kind of have a bias against me. Maybe. I don't talk to my dad much. Not that me and him have anything, you know, like any bad blood or anything. It's just, we don't really connect with a lot of things. We like Marvel movies, so when Marvel movies come out, we'll watch it, but he doesn't like talking about the special effects or stuff like I do, so it's just kind of, you know, weird, you know. That when I was little, he treated me like his favorite, and then the more I grew up, the further we grew apart. Anyways, enough emotional life shit. Let's get back to the game. Which is more emotional life shit.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior.
I'd actually like a job like this, you know? Just basic work.
His mind began to wonder. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
If you're wondering why this guy's hand didn't cut off, it's because there's kind of like a... What's the word I'm looking for? Invisible wall. So you can't cut yourself. See? You can't.
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. I worried about him then. But he found something more. Daydreaming at the cannery.
You're wondering why I'm walking like shit. It's because it's hard to
spoke with his
control
boss.
both of these.
But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
They
So
don't
I
have
let him go
jobs
on.
like this anymore, do they? Or is it all like machine labor?
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
That's a cute dog.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built
Wow,
the city
someone's
up slowly,
narcissistic.
brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him
It's weird how they have fish-related stuff.
that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he
Like-
could do whatever he wished.
You think the monotony of his job, that would be the last thing he would implement in.
He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
See, how can you name stuff like that after yourself?
He started drifting away from our reality.
Then again, I would just name it after curse words and like Astopia and shit like that.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Like hell, I'm 16 and I still laugh
Even as his mother pleaded with
at
him,
like poo-poo platter.
part of Lewis kept sailing on.
You know that this shit you can get from many Chinese takeout places. I'm 16 and I still laugh at that shit. I know I'm not mature on the
In
slightest.
Louisville, he heard rumors of a
Last time I went for Beautiful Prince. Let's go for, the Handsome Queen this
Handsome
time.
Queen. The Queen was on her own quest for...
Let's go for this.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp.
Trying to concentrate here.
His chase led him to a golden
Yes.
palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh, she pretty.
He knew the world was all in his
And thick.
imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
Yeah, no shit.
And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
I think his boss would kick him out for that. Yeah, his boss would definitely kick him out for
Began to
that.
forget the world we know.
Like, for a pot and all. I don't smoke it myself, but not exactly
I
a
think it
job
pained him to
you
remember
should
Lewis,
do
the cannery worker.
while under the influence of that. You know, unless you have like some kind of medical thing where you need it, then I can understand that.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Buddy, you're not really picking up anything. But yeah, with like pot and stuff, if you have like something medically or mentally where you need it, I'm perfectly cool with that. You know, like, now, like, you shouldn't be asking like a 16-year-old if it's cool or not, but that's my opinion. But if you're using it just for fun, I think that's something that you should stay at your house. I don't think you should really use it like you would use morphine, for example. You use it for pain, but you don't use it for fun. Same thing goes for alcohol, except alcohol's more for fun. And I'm gonna shut up now because I'm starting to ramble. And my rambling's not making any sense. That's a lot of dead fish.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Not a giant cat. Also, I don't trust this. Think about it. They all died horrifically
Including the wise
when things were
Captain
going their
who
way.
insisted on advising him.
Hey, cat. You look like my old cat Mittens that would try to scratch my eyes out when I slept. I don't trust
Queen waited,
this.
holding his crown.
I just don't trust you.
There was only one thing left to do.
And I've called it. Yep,
Bend
she
down
did.
his head.
Do I want to die? Do I want to die? She did.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
We only have a few more, so I think we can wrap it up in this episode. And again, usually when I say that, it goes to shit, so who knows? Man, it looked like my brother's John's room.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Bubble wrap. Yes. Okay, enough fucking around.
But I understand why we left.
Why? Is that ice cream? I can't tell. Is it ice cream or peaches?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
About to say, was that a toilet seat or something? I like how some of the stuff in here is designed.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had
I
to
remember
end
this.
one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
I remember this now.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Okay. You go be a bitch to grandma then.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
I could tell.
When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
I don't know how that old lady got in here, but I give her props for it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Oh, that's pretty.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
Last time I seen my old house.
Lowest tide in 1,000 years.
Last time I seen my old house was when my brother was trying to bury me, because we were laying the foundation for the new house.
God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Now that I think about it, maybe they did have a little bias against me.
But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
Hey, no,
It's mine.
gimme,
Edith!
gimme,
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
gimme. My book.
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Surprised overprotective mom's not
We
yelling
both
at her
tried to
for
make the
that.
best of it. A few years went by.
Oh, do I really gotta do
My
this?
mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot.
Oh, thank
The
God.
rest happened pretty quickly.
I mean, oh no, she's getting sick.
She got better for a while. And then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh, so from the beginning with the cast, you weren't seeing her cast, you were seeing his. Oh, damn. Well, that was What Remains of Edith Finch. This game is awesome. And brought up a lot of memories that I had when I was little, which I find a bit odd. But, yeah. See you guys in the next video.